It's viewer submission full mix night on Mixing Night. Ken mixes community artist Phil Diox and his song 2+2, taking you through the thought processes of a professional mixer. Follow along as Ken explains his skills and techniques, showing you how to replicate them. Get your questions ready and get on the chat roll. We have a lot of Q&A tonight. Ken kicks off the show with a sprint mix of Obscene Stealers featuring Two Hooks and I Know Fash. It's a cinematic hip-hop song titled Hero. Watch the entire mix come together in only 10 minutes.
Let's go! Woo!
Tonight we give away 5 plugins from Safari Pedals and 1-year subscription to Session Studio. You must be live to enter, but not to win. Enter with the link in the description. Fire up your studio, tap in a friend, and settle in for tonight's Mixing Night.
Welcome to Mixing Night. I'm your host, Ken Lewis, and I have pretty sure the weirdest resume in the entire music industry. Me and Mazzy, back there, are joined in studio tonight by Cincinnati indie artist Phil Diox. I am mixing his song 2+2 live for you guys tonight. He joins us. Man, in other news, I saw that Ann Mincelli got her Grammy Award today for the Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen cast album. Congrats, Ann. I've been checking the doorstep all day for my own Hell's Kitchen Grammy, but there will be no unboxing tonight. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow. Check my socials at Ken Lewis Producer. You'll see that on unboxing soon, I hope. That's my second Grammy in 2 years after a 32-year drought. I feel very accomplished. So if you're still swinging for the fences, don't give up. It might take you 32 years, but you'll get there. I just had Australian jazz artist May Blue in the studio this weekend for some vocal production. I really love her voice. Those sessions went great. I've steadily been producing and writing with Coburn on her debut album. She's in tomorrow. And Anushka Sen on some killer music. I'm really excited for both of them. I mean, Coburn's going to be a big star. Anushka's already a big star. We've been using Session Studio to keep both of those projects organized and easy to manage. Thank you, Session Studio. Great production tool, and we are giving away 1 year of Session Studio tonight, and also we are giving away 5 plugins throughout the night from Safari Pedals. I love those guys. We'll spread the giveaways out throughout the night and give everybody a chance to win. Enter now. The link is in the description right down there, but please come straight back to us. You need to be live to enter, but not to win. We'd like you to hang out for the whole show, but if you can't, you still can win. I love those Safari Pedals, and Noam, the owner of Safari Pedals is Noam Levenberg. He may join us on the chat roll tonight. So he was telling me he might drop in. I hope he does. And if Noam drops by, pepper him with questions. He will want them. He's a great guy. He's a frickin' well of knowledge. Let's see, what else is going on in my life? I was just in Toulouse, France, this month teaching my once a year 1-week master class there at ISPRA Technical University. Man, I really love that place, and the students are always so great. But whew, on after the first night, I got sick as fuck. And it's like been 16 days since I've been sick. I'm still not quite 100, but I've been close to 100 enough to work for a while. Spent the night in the hospital in France. That's always fun. Although I gotta say, the French healthcare system, I think this is a little bit better here with my insurance, but the whole hospital stay was free. Yes, free. They didn't ask me for my insurance. They didn't ask me for anything. So, man, European healthcare system, and there wasn't any waits. Like they got me in, they got me into a room, they assessed me, the whole thing. Well done, European healthcare system. Thank you, France, for taking care of me. It was a little bit of a rough go for me. Never want to be in the hospital anywhere, especially overseas. On to happier things. Did I mention that I founded a sync company with a couple Hollywood music heavyweights? Well, I did. We are officially announcing soon, but we will be a high-end boutique sync agency, highly curated, highest quality artists in music, mostly curated by me. My music is in there too. If you think you are an incredible sync artist and you control your rights, well, I think we should talk. The artists we will be launching the company with are, I can't even tell you how proud I am of the roster that we are assembling and the people that want to work with us and want to work with me in this sync company. It is just really an honor. We have an absolute killer roster. In other news, with Mixing Night Audio, our plugin company, we are about to start alpha testing on Cascade, which is our latest plugin. It's a delay, but it's so much more than a delay. But if you understand the company philosophy on how to make plugins, I design plugins so that people that don't know how to mix can get incredible results quickly, and the people that do know how to mix can get incredible results quickly. I can mix a whole song with ALLCOMP and be very happy with it. I did that live when we released ALLCOMP. You can find that on our YouTube page. So Cascade is on its way. Probably in a couple months. We're testing it now. You'll see it tonight. I'll give you a little bit of a preview. I'm going to use it on Phil's mix. It's just beautiful. Tonight's sprint mix is my sync group, Obscene Stealers, featuring Angel Hill, I Know Fash, and Two Hooks. It's a cinematic hip-hop song called Hero. This is going to sync like mad. Such a great... You'll hear it. You'll hear it. You know. Sprint mixing trains your instincts and puts the focus on the music and not the plugins. My full mix tonight is about 150 tracks, so you will see a slightly slowed down real-world application of sprint mixing through the next 2 hours once I start Phil Diox's mix. Okay, let's fire up Hero by Obscene Stealers. Welcome to Mixing Night. Go ahead and enter the giveaways now. We're giving away 5 Safari pedals and 1-year subscription to Session Studio throughout the night. You got to be live to enter. You do not have to be live to win. We'll track your ass down. Okay. Enough of that. Time to sprint mix. Boy, I can't say enough about this song. I just freaking love it. And I just mixed the main version today, and then I let the guys randomize it, so it's a little bit fresh in me. Anyway, welcome to Mixing Night. Here we fucking go. Oh, I gotta do the... No, where's the sprint? Sprint mixing. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. I hope you're ready. I am. I just brought the whole mix down because I was pushing the mix bus a little bit too much. Now I'm gonna push this up a little bit to compensate, and then I can back this off as I get louder. This is really just for broadcast so that you guys can clearly hear what I'm doing and not have to turn your own volume way up.
No, if anyone has what it takes to make a decision, deciding the fate of the free world. What would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for every time I failed. I can't tell.
No, it feels like home everywhere I go. But where I am is alive. Battle after battle with myself, and I don't know who's winning.
With the world at your feet, would you run through the ring or suffer defeat? Thanks to make a decision, deciding the fate of the free world. What would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for every time I failed. I can't tell, but I'm still here.
'Cause in the final hour, is it even really matter?
Would you run through the ringer or suffer defeat? I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision, deciding the fate of the free world. What would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for every time I failed. I can't. Would you or suffer defeat? I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision, deciding the fate of the free world. What would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for every time I failed. I can't. Defeat. I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision. Me for sparing the details, I could W for every time I failed. I can't. Would you run through the ringer or suffer defeat? I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision. Free world, what would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for every time I failed. I can't. Would you run through the ringer or suffer defeat? I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision, deciding the fate of the free world. What would happen if everything derailed? Would you love me for sparing the details? I could W for
When angels need a hero, what if I don't hear? And you need a hero, what if I don't hear? When angels
time and everything falls, would I be all that stood for the cause? No one is deep in the blood and bone, this is love and loss. You don't know the cost, what I given up is enough to tear the world apart. And everything falls, would I be all that stood for the cause? No one
everywhere. myself, and I don't know who's winning anymore. What it's of heaven, never open it up. Where would No, and I don't know who's winning anymore. What if the gates of heaven never open it up? Where
No one, there's no one else left to call. Giving the blood and bone, this is love and loss. You don't know the cost, what I given up. It's enough to tear the world apart. But what would you do with the world at your feet? Would you run through the ringer or suffer defeat? I don't think anyone has what it takes to make a decision.
Man, I could really get lost in that shit right now. That is Hero from Obscene Steelers featuring I Know Fash, Angel Hill, and Two Hooks. Damn, I love that song. The full mix of it is fucking bananas. Hopefully we'll put it out soon and you guys can hear it soon. We're going to do a little bit of Q&A. Let me take a look at where's my chat roll? There's my chat roll. Hey, the chat roll's already popping. Jalen Goins, Joe Fairwick, Kev J, what's good? Josh S, good to see you tonight, man. Chris Adelman, Polo, what's up, Polo Diamond? Philip Dayox. Hey, the artist is on the chat roll. Say hello to the artist and welcome him to the show, Phil Diox. Kurt Codeine, I fucking love that name, dude. It's a great flip. Danny Mall Lee, MT Champion, good to see you, bro. Are you still with Retro? Haven't really spoken to you in a while, but good to see you. Shadiq TV, Seamus, what's good, Seamus? Thank you for entering the mix contest. This is Torch. So me and This is Torch and Michael Moss and I Know Fash have another sync group called Radiolarians. If anybody remembers a song that I sprint mixed called Evacuation, that's Radiolarians. Torch is absolute fucking fire on the beats. Love that guy's music. Jose Beneto, Eric Iverson. Eric, what's good, brother? Are you back in the Bay Area? Or are you still traveling? I think you were down in Arizona. Klassen, Massey the Creator, Michael Bruce Miller, Mr. Essay, Bill Dwyer. I know I'm botching some of these names. I'm really sorry. Aunt Sal, Logo Shock. Man, great chat roll tonight. Thank you, guys. It's going to be a killer show. Let's get the questions fired up. I got to reset Miro for a second. Fire away with questions. I got a couple here. Aunt Sal asks, hey Ken, who's the most famous person that's been in that studio you're in right now? Probably Anushka Sen. Anushka, she hasn't come out as a musical artist yet. She flew over to work with me on a song for the United Nations, and which tells you how big her heart is. That girl is just such a genuinely amazing person. But Anushka Sen has been an actress for 15 years, and she's only 22 years old. Yep, do the math. And she's got like 40 million Instagram followers, and she just resonates. That girl is just a light. I absolutely adore her. Let's see. Aunt Sal asks, hey Ken, if I had a hit song, what steps do I take to get feedback when I do? What steps do I take to get feedback? When do I release it? And do I try to get it into the right ears? Okay. Anybody who wants to be signed to a major label nowadays, there's 2, maybe 3 ways. Become known on TikTok and resonate like hell on TikTok and grow your fan base on TikTok. That is the #1 algorithmic place that labels look for talent. And I get it. Like, I used to hate on TikTok. I think everybody generally did at one point. A lot of people still do. But the thing about this business is this is the entertainment business now for major labels. It's not the music business now for major labels. It's the entertainment business. And TikTok finds the people who are both great entertainers and great artist musicians. So I get the vetting process on TikTok. The other way is, I think, through sync. If you start lining up a ton of big syncs and making a lot of money, there's probably like a Sony or a Universal who has big film companies and TV shows like crazy who might want to sign you because of your power at sync. The third way would be to sell out shows. And, you know, I mean, if you're selling out 500 to 1,000 caps and touring the nation, That's a very enticing thing. Anything that basically says your music is reacting and connecting to a very real fan base that we can identify. And so many people think it's about the music. It is not about the music. The music has to be great. That's the buy-in. Now, you may not love what this artist or that artist puts out, but somebody does, and everybody's tastes are different. So if you don't love something, whoever does love that thing probably hates what you love. So, get over it. Just let people live. So, man, more people on the chat roll. Bobby Thimgen, good to see you, bro. We got to do another beat contest soon. I got to hear more Bobby Thimgen beats and MBI beats and fucking. We had so much fun with those. I'm gonna get back to them. It's been crazy. Jorge Ortega from Ecuador. Man, I miss Ecuador. It's fucking dangerous right there, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be going back to Ecuador anytime soon, but I miss my home. Ugh. I have a full place and a studio on the beach down there. It's my favorite place on earth. Me Too B. Who else is here? Secret Sound Lab, what's good? Ghoster Noticed. Ghoster Noticed. I fucking love that. That's a great flip. Okay, who else has questions? Let me get them popping here. Seamus Cranley asks, hey Ken, what plugins did you use on the mix bus of Hero when you originally mixed it? I used most of my standard go-tos. I think I started with Black Box HG2 and then the UAD Manly Varimu, which is always the same settings I push into it until I get the result. I don't know if I EQ'd the mix bus on this, but I definitely went into BX Master Desk, the UAD version, and did some squeezing and stuff on there, and then I just did the final push with FabFilter Pro L, Pro L2. Yes, totally different than the Waves Pro L, which sounds like absolute ass. Massey the Creator, good to see you, bro. Who else is Michael Bruce Miller? Okay, man, this McClasson, man, the chat roll is really popping tonight. I'm going to take a couple more questions, and I'm going to get to bringing in Phil Diox. Sorry, Phil. Let's run the Cincinnati sound segment, and then we'll bring Phil in, and we will start the mix. So just let me know on the walkie-talkie when you guys go to the Cincinnati sound segment.
Hello, I'm Philip Diox. Welcome to Cincy Sound Studio, brainchild of owner Steve Faliero. We built this place over the past year or so. I'm just exporting some stems right now for the man Ken Lewis to work his magic on. Yeah, I'll give you a quick tour. Got some nice outboard gear here. Soundcraft 3200, big boy console. You don't see these a lot. If you follow me here, I'll show you. Vocal booth, great. Dead, but not uncomfortably dead. Dead enough. Drum room. That snare isn't on. Dead, but not too dead. We're all about life here at Cincy Sound, and here is the life of the studio. We have the live room. Live, but not too live. We have vintage amplifiers, all that good stuff. Old organs, Hammond C3, Ken's mix of my song. You will hear some of these instruments on that track. For instance, the Hammond C3, 12-string guitar, piano. So yeah, this is Cincy Sound. I'll show you the lounge real quick. Find more information on Instagram at Cincy Sound. Facebook, same deal. This is Cincy Sound, and this is where I have the privilege of working out of. Thank you so much to Ken Lewis for enabling an incredible opportunity, and I was fortunate enough to be selected for the Mixing Night Audio mix, and shout out to ALLCOMP and Mixing Night Audio and all the great stuff that Ken and everybody on their team does, Nolan, Jonathan. Thank you.
All right, I am joined in studio by Phil Diox from Cincinnati, Ohio. You're an engineer at Cincy Sound?
Yes, sir.
Phil engineers at Cincy Sound, where he just gave you the walkthrough from. Pretty nice place to work, especially for Cincinnati, Ohio. But I tell you, between Nolan's studio, which is fucking amazing, is Monogold Studios, and Cincinnati Sound, like Cincinnati's got some nice spots. I can't hate on it at all. Thank you, sir. We got our questions back from the audience. If you guys have questions for Phil, fire away on the chat roll, and they will feed them to me on my little pad right here. But Phil, I notice you left me with 148 tracks of music, and
Yes, sir.
I'm not mad at that at all. People actually are going to get to see the real-world application of sprint mixing. So, I'm not going to get this entire thing mixed in an hour and a half. That's just not going to happen. But we'll post up the full mix once it's done, and I'll get as far as I can. But this reminds me of I got a call to mix a BTS single once. I have 49 BTS mixes released. And the song was called Hey Mama, and it had 179 tracks. And my friend Shroom was over from Amsterdam. He's a great producer, and he just wanted to hang out. And I was like, you can hang, but I'm going to be in flow state for a while. He was like, okay. So 179 tracks, took me 7 hours, start to finish, to mix. I did not take any shorts. If I had needed 8 or 10 or 15 hours, I would have taken them. 7 hours, printed, turned it in, one tiny revision request from the group, and that song went final. And a lot of that has to do with the instinct building that happens with sprint mixing that gets you away from the mindset of it's got to be plugins, 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 plugins. Doesn't have to be fucking plugins. It's got to be listen to the music coming out of the speakers and react to it. And if the music coming out of the speakers tells you to put a plugin on it, and you're a seasoned person like me, okay, then you put a plugin on it. If it's telling you to put a plugin on it, and you're young and inexperienced, you might want to check yourself and go like, does this need something? Maybe it just needs a fader push. You see, the sprint mixing teaches you to strike great balances very quickly. That's what it does, and you're about to see me do that right now. All right, so this is Phil Deox 2+2. You ready, Phil? This is going to be, this is going to be a challenge. Yeah, I'm the right guy for it. Okay, here are the faders down. Yeah, why are the faders up? I like going from faders down to finished. Oh, okay, just the drums while Nolan was cleaning them. All right, let's fucking go. It's 8:30. Let's see how long it takes me to get a full mix. Everything's probably going to be in the mix, I predict, by 8:50. 150 tracks. I'm going to start with the master fader up 12. I would never do this in a real mix, but it's going to let you guys hear everything 12 dB more clearly on your end.
Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. But on the feeble mind. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine.
How many of y'all would have been deep into plug-in land already? Have I touched one or even thought about it yet? No. You'll notice that I do most of my adjustments on the faders and not with the mouse, because the moment that I start adjusting volumes with the mouse, I have to overthink everything. I've got to wonder, okay, the mouse has got to click here, and I've got to click and hold the mouse, and then I've got to drag the the fader around while I listen, and I'm always looking at the screen while I'm doing this to make sure the mouse is doing what I want, and all of that is a distraction from listening to the music. Not saying you can't do it. Everybody does it. It's effective. But to me, it's much more effective working on faders where I don't have to look at the screen. I can put two different sounds under my fingers, and I can balance those two sounds quickly against each other and move on to the next group of groupings. And that's what I'm doing as fast as I fucking can right now. Let's get back to it. Are you shell-shocked yet? What's up, Phil?
I've been
This is how fast you mix, right?
of course. I've been toiling over this. Well, a lot of my process is layering and recording and getting all the sounds to fit together on the front end. So when it comes to like remixing everything, it's really interesting because I haven't heard it really detached from itself yet.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to like, you know, just see everything detached and not melded together. So that's yeah. I've been struggling with this one.
Hopefully I will meld it back together.
Oh yes.
It's all coming. And you guys see a lot of times I'm very quickly soloing things that are kind of grouped together into a performance part, like these three different horn parts are, you know, playing the same basic part. So I'm soloing them, striking a balance where I think it generally works. I can always change it and modify it later. And then I'm grouping them so that I only have to touch one fader to bring it up or down. If I want to mute it, I can just mute any one of the three and it'll go. So if you see me doing that throughout the mix, that's what I'm doing. Anytime something can be simplified with a little group, like I think the cymbals are grouped, some of the guitars are grouped. It's just a time saver and easier to adjust full sounds of combinations. You don't always want to counterpan things against each other. These were given to me pan hard left and hard right, but with these parts being like a counterpart to other things that are going on in the mix, to have the counterpart way out here instead of in kind of one more focused place where it can actually both elements of the counterpart can work together to bounce off of something else that's in the mix. I'm combining them and panning them generally to the same place, which in my mix is like left, about halfway left. I'm trying the sound, I'm trying it both on left and right to see where it bounces me better. There just happens to be a little bit more mix room for it right here than there is to the hard right. And a lot of times, you know, I get these questions about panning, like, how do you know where to pan what? It's all personal taste, but here's some tips. Like what I was just doing with that, I'm treating it like a mono, well, it is a mono source right there. And I pan it hard right, and I listen to how it just sat in the groove, how it, you know, enhanced or didn't enhance the music. And then I panned it around a little bit, all the way hard left. But as I was sweeping, I was like, huh, About 20 to 40 to the left is it really opens up and finds its own space and its own frequency range to speak, where there's less already happening right in that zone to fight with it, and it just interacts with everything else a little bit better. So for me with panning, it's partially just how you want to try and attempt it, but also how you want that sound to speak in the mix against every other sound. And there's so much melody and counter melody in this that I really want to focus each part that's doing the melodies and counter melodies and make sure that the ear can pick them up very distinctly. This counter melody is over here, this counter melody is over here, that one's over there, and this one's back there, and you know, you guys get the point. All right, I still got a few hundred fucking tracks to add into this. My God. Here we go.
fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can't ever make 5. Well, the trick may work. Well, the trick may work on the people's mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can't ever make 5. Well, the trick may work on the people's mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can't ever make 5. Well, the trick may work on the people's mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. Well, the trick may work on the people's mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can't ever make 5.
This is my plugin, by the way, ALLCOMP. All of these chains are my chains under the hood with a shit ton of processing happening. And the heat chain, me and Dominic both cooked up the heat chain. Dominic is Dominic and Lori are my partners in Mixing Night Audio, and Dominic is a like top tier hit making K-pop producer, amazing ears, great mixer, and he and I dialed all of these chains in together. They are mixer producer chains. From us. We didn't like hand them off to somebody. We designed the chains. So you're using my shit, and I use this stuff all the time. How am I doing so far? How's it sounding? Sounds good. He hates it.
Well, the trick may work on the people's mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie.
Okay, I am a half an hour into the mix. I need a mental break. I think I have all but maybe 20 or 30, well, maybe 40. Holy crap! I've got maybe 40 or 50 tracks left to put in the mix, but I'm easily 100 in within a half an hour. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I just pulled up my first plugins. That was the first time I touched plugins. And you see how the mix is starting to come together. And what that tells you is if you build the foundation of your mix correctly, you have to do a whole lot less processing with plugins than if you automatically put something up and be like, oh, I need a plugin on this, I need a plugin on that, I need a plugin. Blah, blah, blah. No, you need to fucking listen. That's what you need to do. You need to listen, and then you need to ask the song, what should I do, song? What is it a plugin? Probably not. Let's see, is the bass driving enough? Is the kick driving enough? Is it like, do I need to add low end to the kick? Do I just need to push up the fader? Is it the bass guitar? Maybe it needs evened out with compression, and then your brain kind of cycles through the series of musical questions for the song. What does the song musically need? And when the song answers that for me, and the answer is, you should use a plugin and this is how you should use it, that is when I start using plugins. And or that's kind of like the bar for any time I use plugins. Man, we got this chat roll is popping tonight. Thank you all for showing up. Ripley Sterling, J Rel, Shadiq, Lon Freeze. I haven't seen you in a while. Neutrino. Who else is around here tonight? Thank you everybody for tuning in. I need a mental break after 30 minutes of 100 tracks into the mix. So, let's take some questions. If anybody has questions for Phil, please fire away. This is Phil Deox. He is the artist sitting right behind me. Probably wondering why I am completely butchering his song right now, but we'll be okay. So how's it sounding so far, Phil?
Sounds good. I sent the stems so you could only mess it up so bad.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Michael Bruce Miller asks, "Hey, Ken, what are you doing to those toms? Balancing them. I panned the rack tom slightly left and adjusted the fader until it felt right, and I panned the floor tom slightly right and adjusted the fader until it felt right. I might touch them up later, but they're in perspective now." Scantless Beats asks, "Hey, Ken, when was this session recorded and how long did it take?"
Well,
Yes.
I think over the course of the past, I think I started, there's some pictures of Nolan, he has some pictures so you can throw them up. We started I'd say a few months ago, myself and drummer Donnie Vossler, incredible drummer, creative drummer, which is something, that is creative in time.
Yeah, that helps.
So we just tracked it, drums and guitar, and then throughout, I guess, the past 2 months, when we have time.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's not necessarily how long, it's more like how much time can you make. But we then just started tracking. I did the bass. I had our buddy John McAdams come in. He did a scratch bass track because we were playing it live. He had a really cool bass line, but I wanted to refine it a little bit. There's a lot of space in the bass line, the bass takes up a lot of headroom, so I kind of refined that, and then over the past month or so, I just went in and did the overdub. We had Miles came in and
I
did the
suspected
horns.
Nolan
Yeah.
was behind that horn playing.
Oh,
well
yeah.
done, Nolan. I like your style, buddy.
So it wasn't like
Yeah, so over the course of like 2 months, the song kind of gradually got put together. Interesting. I love all of the live instrumentation and live elements of it. That's refreshing, to say the least. JMB asks, "Hey Ken, what music elements should be in mono in a mix, and what should be in stereo?" Well, I was showing you guys a little bit of that earlier. This song has a lot of like melody and counter melody and things that kind of bounce and work rhythmically off of each other. So a lot of things that were given to me as stereo sounds, I'm collapsing them down to mono, and I'm finding out where they best fit into the mix. Because if you want every stereo sound to just be in stereo, and you're just going to put them all in stereo and leave them there, man, you're going to have a really, really, really tough time sorting all of those things out. So in a really dense mix like this, it's kind of key to like identify the most important elements of it, find out where they work best in the mix. Typically, not always, typically, bass is center mono, kick is center mono, snare is center mono, cymbals, overheads are out wide, lead vocal is, center mono, and everything else is dealer's choice. Some of these guitars are tracked in stereo on purpose, so some on my left like that, some on my kind of panned against each other, as you can see. And so I think it's just, there are certain rules to this, and then mostly the rules just go out the window. Clausen asks, "Hey Ken, what's your take on using plugins for producing sounds before mixing stage? Thank you for all your wisdom." Thank you, Clausen. Using plugins before mixing stage. While I am producing, I always have a solid rough mix going, so that I always know where my production is in the process, and I know when I've gotten to a finish line and I'm ready to mix. So if I understand your question correctly, it's really like, how much like mix treatment do you do during production, which is a fair amount. And then when I go to mix, anything that was a creative decision that I've done, I leave alone. If it's a plugin, if it's a filter, a certain EQ, whatever gets me closer to what I envision that sound should be, then I leave all of that stuff on as a producer. And I hand it off to the mixer that way, which is sometimes me. And but if it's just like a Band-Aid, like I just had real gentle compression on this thing for no good reason, and just a touch of a high shelf EQ on that thing for no reason, then I'm usually removing that, and I'm going to reimagine it during the mix. But I don't lose my creative choices that I've made during production when I move to the mixing stage. I keep those, and I just remove all of the Band-Aids that I didn't think about much. Okay, Kyle Wolf asks, "Hey Ken, any advice on getting singers on tracks? Picking out ones that follow through. Also, do you do upfront fee with session vocalists, or would you ever ask them to potentially recoup on the back end?" Recouping on the back end is tough because finding any kind of back end money in this business is fucking hard. Even me, I don't just get to put out a song and start making money from it. That is not how this shit works. And, as a producer, I'm looking to produce artists that have a built-in, at least engine to acquire an income stream, or a built-in income stream already that I can help dig in and maximize. But if you're just cutting demos, I used to always pay my demo singers a little bit up front. Nowadays, I don't know. SoundBetter is a pretty good site to find talent. I'm on SoundBetter as a mixer, soundbetter.com. Let's see. I wish I had a better answer for you. It's tough out there, man. But there's plenty of great singers in Jersey, so, find some and see if they want to come over and sing for you. Patrick Badalian asks, "Hey Ken, are you rolling off the low end on the tracks with the exception of the bass and kick?" Fuck no. I do not do that. I roll off low end when I hear problems with low end. Otherwise, I don't low cut anything. And I think the people that do low cut everything just as by rote is just A, a waste of time. B, you could really ruin your mix. It's not like I don't low cut anything. If I hear a problem, it gets low cut. Same with high cuts, But the tool that I use that I find much more effective is tilt. And if you see ALLCOMP has a tilt. So this is ALLCOMP. Levitate is tilt. So this sets my center frequency. And basically what a tilt is if this is 1K, and this is 20K, and this is 20 hertz, a tilt does this. So 20K, the high frequencies get brighter, the low frequencies get thinner, and it just rebalances your sound so that your starting sound sounds much more in balance with what you imagine it should be. So if you tilt this way, it's a little bit darker and a little bit fatter. And that single thing alone, I use the tilt levitate on ALLCOMP all the time. And it's just to kind of rebalance the frequency spread. So imagine you have a lead vocal that comes in and you've got to mix it. And it's a little bit dark and it's a little bit muddy. Well, what does that tell me? If I tilt it bright, then I'm going to get rid of some of that muddiness and I'm going to get rid of some of that darkness, and the entire vocal is going to sound much more even before I add compression or effects or anything else. So there's a look inside my brain. Kurt Codine. I fucking love that name. Kurt Codine asks, "Hey Ken, what are the small speakers on your desk? Did you use them during the sprint?" These small speakers right here are IK Multimedia iLoud Micro Pros. So I was a super fan of the original iLoud Micros. I thought they sounded amazing. Liked the MTMs, didn't love them. But then I just got a pair of these and they fucking slay. I just mixed a pretty fucking big record on these in France while I was there. Between my headphones and these, it got me 80% of the way that I needed for mixing. They just sound crystal clear. The clarity and the imaging and is fantastic, and they actually get pretty loud in volume, so I like them. Let's see. Seamus Cranley asks, "Can I put music into sync opportunities without mastering it?" Well, music supervisors who take music for synchronization want the absolute best things that they can get. The best song, performed by the best artist, and the most perfect song for the scene that they're looking for. So, sure, you don't have to do anything specifically, but you all got to understand that in sync world, you are looking at your competition right now, and I want all of your syncs. I don't want you to get any of them. That's my money. So, and if you heard my records, you know how I throw down. So, there are levels to this game, and you just got to be really realistic with what you have and what you are trying to do with it, and understand what your competition is, and make the best decisions you can from there. I'm going to take a couple more questions, and then if anybody has a question for Phil, fire away. Otherwise, I'm going to Purcell. Purcell asks, hey Ken, which DAW company, if any, do you think would be a most likely to implement a non-linear node-based mixer work? I don't even know what that is. I'm just going to tell you right now, that reads like Greek to me, and yeah, so I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I stay in record land. I try and keep my brain away from technical things. And if you see, the plugins that I design are super, super simple to use. And things like Pultec and things like that are like my go-to EQs. If I pull up a plugin and it's got too many knobs and buttons and parameters, no, hard no for me. I want my brain always focused on those speakers and the music that is coming out of those speakers. And anything that super distracts me from that, I try and avoid like the fucking plague. I'm going to get back to mixing and see if I can get these last 50 tracks into this fucking mix as fast as possible. But it's sounding great, and I've only got a few plugins. Before I do that, I'm going to fix this kick drum. It's just a little bit thin. And you'll see, you're about to see tilt.
Well, the trick they worked on the people.
So what I did was I tilted left to make the kick heavier. I took some of the top end off. For me, the kick was a little bit thin and it had a little bit too much snap on the beater. So I levitated, tilted left, and this is probably a center frequency of about 400 or 500 until I got some of the weight into the kick that I wanted. And any of the snap that I lost, I added back with Awakened Presence. Check it out. And then I just put a little bit of limiter on it, pushed into the punch chain. The punch chain is slow attack, medium fast release on the compression. It's doing a couple other things underneath, but that's the gist of it. So let's listen to that again. Listen to the weight.
Well, the trick they worked on the people mind.
Now I use the vocal compressor on the snare because the vocal compressor has a really fast attack and release, and well, about a medium release. I wanted to flatten out the transient of the snare a little bit so that the body of the snare could hang out a little bit longer. So with compression, if you do like fast attack, medium fast release on a snare drum, you're going to crush the transient a little bit, but the entire body of the snare is going to come up in presence a little bit. So you're taking like transient, body, and you're kind of doing more like that. So you're still getting some transient, but you can hear the decay of the snare longer.
Well, the trick they worked on the feeble mind. Well, the trick they worked.
ALLCOMP is such a cheat code.
Well, the trick they worked on the feeble mind.
Heat chain on horns, you're hearing it now, is such a cheat code. It just brings out the resonance and the vibiness with just a little bit of edge of saturation. It's not distortion, it's saturation, but you can hear like the character of the horns all coming together. Oxidate is a reverb. It's 5 of my different DOMs, different reverb choices under the hood. We selected like what I would consider my 5 most usable reverbs. And the great thing about the Oxidate reverb is even if you're gonna go and use like a, Liquid Sonics or some shit like that, Seventh Heaven or, a UAD thing, this, just auditioning these 5 in a row is probably going to tell you the style of reverb that you want. Do I want a plate? Do I want a long dark hall? Do I want a medium bright chamber? Do I want a small room? Do I want a mono room? And in my experience, for most sounds, this reverb, when you find the right one and you dial it in correctly, it just gives you what you want, and you don't have to go to another reverb. It's all right here. Listen to the room that Oxidate puts on this. I mean, that sounds like I'm in a studio. It's crazy. And you also notice I'm putting it in pre. So what that does is it combines the horns and the reverb before I hit the saturation chain. So it pushes both the reverb and the horns into the saturation together, as opposed to pushing the horns into the saturation and then into the reverb. This is a pretty common thing for me to do. I'm keeping the same exact settings on the lead and the lead double, and I'm tucking the lead double back about 10, 11 dB. And usually that ratio, somewhere between like -8 and -14 dB lower than the lead vocal, gives me the blend that I want that keeps the lead vocal centered, so I'm not struggling to hear it and identify, like, is this a solo artist? But it's thick. It creeps up to enough to like thicken the vocal. Everybody treats vocals differently. You as an artist, or you as a producer producing artists, need to determine what you want your artist to sound like. And hopefully, I mean, Phil hasn't like grabbed me and thrown me to the floor yet, so we'll go with this as a sample.
I was born to red eyes under shadow of darkness. Evil likes to hide was the final behind the tongue. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, la da 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 da. The man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, la da 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 da. The man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. The man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, la da 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 da. The man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, the man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, la da 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 da. Likes to hide was the final remark. We'll take a trip to the past, find out nothing is new. It's a matter of what's not a matter of who. Well, likes to hide was the final remark. We'll take a trip to the past. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
When I do aux routing, I am not at all a big fan of routing to this aux and that aux and the other aux and 20 bazillion auxes happening in your mix. The only time that you see me routing to an aux is when I have 8 things like this, or 2 or 3 things that I want to control with one fader, and then I will put all of those on one fader, either so that I can only adjust the global picture of those things with one fader, and treat them all in as a combination, or sometimes I'll just do my work on the individual tracks anyway. There's no real rules to this, but with this many things, I can tell it was all recorded on the same mic, probably at the same time, so the levels are generally going to track the same, and combining all of these to one aux allows me to find the general level of the where it works in the mix, and I'm going to saturate these a little bit too.
Wow! 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 Take a trip to the past, find out nothing is new. It's a matter of what's not a matter of who. Likes to hide was the final remark. Take a trip to the past, find out nothing is new. It's a matter of what's not a matter of who. Likes to hide was the final remark. Take a trip never trick mine. Trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine.
That's interesting. I'm keeping these backgrounds underneath. I'm keeping a mono center right up under the lead, and I really like what they do to kind of, the lead stays clear to me, but they just kind of give the lead some extra vibe. I'll solo them so you can hear.
Trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. Trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. 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 2 plus 2 can never make 5.
I like to put my aux right below all of the tracks that I just grouped to it. So anytime you open one of my mix sessions, you'll always see anything that I have grouped to an aux. The aux is going to be right below it. It's just my personal preference, and of course it's the exact right way to do it. There is no other, of course, there's always another way to do things.
2 plus 2 can never make 5. 2 plus 2 can never. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. Lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. Just don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. Fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5.
All right, let's take a couple questions. Got one for Phil. Hey, Lon Freeze asks, "Hey Phil, I love your sound. It seems like you might be also able to get some of it onto a TV show, movie, commercials, etc. What are your plans with your music, Phil?"
Whatever can be done to enable me to keep doing it.
Whatever he can do to keep making music. I think that's a lot of artists until, you know, they tap into a fan base or a income stream that they can amplify. You know, sync is one avenue. It is really fucking hard. Live shows, I think especially like the Cincinnati live scene is pretty good. So, you know, you can start building a fan base live and start building your streaming numbers based off of that. You know, I usually find with exceptions, most artists kind of find their way towards several different paths. Take like a Coburn. We're making Coburn's album right now, but I think she's going to do really well at streaming. I think she's going to do really well at sync, and she's going to tour the fucking world within a year and a half to 2 years. I expect her on festival main stages within a year and a half or 2 years worldwide. No question to me. But Coburn has been playing and touring since she was 11 years old, and she's 23. So she didn't just like come out of the gate with something brand new going like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. It was more like I have built this fan base and my touring experience and my record making experience my entire life. And now I am going to make my seminal first album and go ham on it. And that's what she did. Man, the chat roll is popping. I got to do some more shout outs. John P. Haven't seen you here yet. Brad Bloom. What's up? Ghost and Nostra. I fucking love that name. Who else is here? Seamus, Lon Freeze. Lon Freeze won something too. If you guys didn't know, we're giving away 5 Safari pedals tonight and a 1-year subscription to Session Studio, which is what I use to kind of organize all my productions and keep my lyrics and credits and all of that stuff in one place. If you haven't entered yet, it's in the description of the video you are watching right now. Go enter and come straight back to us. Don't leave us. We probably have like one more thing to give away. I don't know. But anyway, those Safari pedals are super nice, and I love me some Session Studio. Let's see. Brad Bloom asks, "Hey Ken, any recommendations for an audio interface for travel, like an RME, Babyface, Form Factor?" I mean, I think Universal Audio makes some really, really great interfaces, and they make a range of different sizes. So my Apollo Twin has been on 4 continents with me. I have taken that thing everywhere. And it's great because it's loaded with the best plugins on earth. It's got great mic pre's and converters. It's got a headphone jack. It's got a DI jack for guitar and bass. So everything I need. They have smaller, Universal has smaller interfaces that if I didn't have a Twin, I would definitely have scooped one of those. So I'd recommend that. Bojeezy Fosheezy asks, "Hey Ken, how do you know when the kick is hitting hard enough but not too much?" A lot of this is instinct and experience from having mixed a gazillion records and just knowing what I want, but it's also asking the song, "What do you want, song? What do you want?" Oh, the kick drum is a little bit thin and it's a little bit snappy on the top. Well, first thing I'm going to do is tilt so that it gets a little bit heavier on the bottom and a little bit less snappy on the top. And I'm just going to realign the frequency ranges of that. And I showed you earlier, but if you guys, if you weren't here paying attention to that, the way I did that was with ALLCOMP Levitate, which is a tilt. I put it in pre so that it's realigning my frequencies before I add compression. So I tilted left, took some of the snap off, gave it some of the weight, and then I pushed in compression into the punch chain until I got the control that I wanted out of it, and done. I don't think much about it. Like, I don't treat things that don't need to be over-treated. If a sound is telling me to, I mean, you can hear the mix is coming together really nice. How many plugins do I have on this mix right now? Almost nothing. Because mixing is 80%, 85% striking great balances. And then you add the control and the polish and everything else. And I'll just give you guys a quick story. If anybody knows who Andy Wallace is like god of rock mixing. The dude, you've heard everything. Not only that, Andy Wallace produced one of the seminal albums in history, Jeff Buckley Grace. Yes, Andy Wallace produced Jeff Buckley Grace, one of the best albums of all time. And if you, so I got to work on Soul Asylum, Let Your Dim Light Shine album that was produced by Butch Vig, one of the high honors of my career, getting to engineer for Butch Vig as a producer. And then our daily mission was to get one more song hand-offable to Andy Wallace for the next day so that he had another song to mix. But I would get to sneak into the mix room before Andy got there, and the previous day's mix was up on the desk finished, and you would press play. I wouldn't. Andy's assistant would. I would never fuck with an Andy Wallace mix, nor did I touch the desk or change anything ever, never. But you look at the SSL, and you know, I remember the first time I saw it, and I asked his assistant, I was like, "Bro, has he started yet?" And then his assistant gives me a really, really big smile and hits play. And the fucking thunder that came out of those speakers was just such a moment that I remembered, because there wasn't much going on the console except for balances and faders and pans. And he maybe had 3 pieces of outboard plugged in. And it just sounded incredible. And I kept seeing this as a young engineer and a younger assistant, top tier mixers that weren't doing anywhere near what the next tier down mixers were doing, who were just everything had to be everything. And I go, oh, there's something really to this. And that's kind of how I built my own mix philosophies. Jalen Goins asks, hey Ken, in sync do you need vocals or can it be instrumental pieces as well? My friend Rhythm J creates mostly instrumental music, and he has thousands of beats licensed in the, like mostly TV. It's mostly like the reality TV kind of shit, where I think he does either low upfront licenses, occasionally gratis licenses if they're going to run for a long time. And then once you build that up, your residuals over time, when those shows just keep running in syndication, can be nice. I think Michael Moss does a similar thing with trailers, where he's got thousands of trailers in the marketplace now, and they just churn income all the time. So it really, there are so many different ways to play sync, you just got to figure out where your lane is. All right, I'm going to get back to the mix. I still got some. Ooh, almost everything's in. Is it? Is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm home stretching it. These to here need to get into this mix right now. Oh, that's easy peasy. Okay. Boom. Here we go.
Educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist. Educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be used. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist. You can petrify a body with the.
And you see on this, I'm panning all of the high notes on this background part left, and I'm panning all the low notes right. And what I'm trying to accomplish with that is the section before it. So this is the section that comes before it, and I have all of these vocals underneath pan mono so that they're more of like a feeling underneath the lead vocal. And then when you get to the second half of this section, I kind of wanted to just do like that a little bit. And give me some sort of a listener change that the listener, maybe the listener doesn't even know what happened, but they know something happened and it's really fucking cool right now, and I like this even more. That's kind of, you know, listeners don't know why they do or don't like things. They just know that they do or they don't. So I work from that. Electric Al works. Good to see you. Shallow, what's up? Brad Bloom, Edua, hey Ken, what do you think about the heat in Pro Tools? Edua asks, hey Ken, what do you think about heat in Pro Tools? I tried to like it. I do not. Crane Song Phoenix 2. I used to use the Crane Song Phoenix a bit back in the day. I haven't used the Phoenix 2. I mean, the saturation into distortion chain on ALLCOMP is one of the best fucking things I've ever heard. I don't really need other saturators anymore. And, you know, and if I instantiate ALLCOMP heat and it's a little bit too crunchy, I just pull down the input volume until it's just nice, warm, big saturation without getting fuzzy or crunchy. So, you know, with any distortion, how much you feed into it is going to matter a lot in how it reacts. Cheat code.
Humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to resist. Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know Humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body with the will to submit. It's not until you've captured thought that man will cease to.
This is a alpha, my own alpha of our Mixing Night Audio Cascade, which is a delay on steroids. My goal with designing any delay plugin, but certainly designing Cascade, was we had to design the most simple, easy to use, most musical delay for dummies. That you don't know what the heck delay does, you don't know how to mix records, you can fire this up and in a few seconds you can get some really, really great sounds out of it. But also, as the company philosophy goes, this needs to be powerful enough for me to only use this as my go-to delay. Done. Wow. We smashed it. So we're going into testing soon. You guys are going to get your hands on it, hopefully in a month or two, probably 2 months. I mean, testing, we go alpha, then beta, then out. So, but yeah, Cascade is a beast. It just sounds so musical, and man, I really, you know, when I set out to build a delay, I figured that some other delay had been built that completely worked with my brain, what my brain wanted to see in a delay plugin. And I went through like 40 different delay plugins, and there was not a single one that I was like, yep, this does everything that I want it to do the way I want it to do it. I love the interface, the way it's laid out. It makes sense. Not a single one in 40. So I was like, okay, yeah, we actually, because my first thought was, why are we going to, aren't there enough delay plugins out there? Apparently not. This is the best one. I put my name on it. Let's see. Ghosta Nostra asks, hey Ken, what kind of fader controller do you recommend? Well, these SSLs tend to overheat, so they've nearly caught the studio on fire once or twice. I'm not really sure if I would recommend those, but you know, I got these because I'm an old SSL head, and it was just an easy transition for me from console to controller. But I like the Avid S1s. I like the soft tubes. The fader ports are really good. I got to use the fader ports at ISPRA like last year, I think. I had like a 16-channel fader port, and I, you know, because the vast majority of what I need a controller for is faders and mutes. That's it. I'm not trying to do much of anything else. And I thought the fader port was really good. Let's see. All right, I'm going to get back to mixing. We're running short on time. Phil, how am I doing over here?
Sounds great.
Sweet. He hates it. I don't know how I'm going to make this guy happy, man. He's the fucking most difficult client in the world. Jesus. Ugh.
It's the tone behind the tune. It's the mind behind the tune. And the string from which the mind is hung. It's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue. And the string from which the mind is hung. Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things.
And you see, I'm only using delay on, is it here? I think these vocals. Not all of the lead vocals, only one of the sections of lead vocals.
A trick may work on the feeble. And 2 plus 2 can never make 5. And 2 plus 2 can never make 5. 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 And 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 2 plus 2 can you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine.
We have 148 tracks in the mix in with stoppage time, hour and 20, with me taking breaks to answer questions and shit. So I'm gonna quickly slap the mix bus together. I usually don't spend much time on the mix bus anyway. We got some action over here. Who do we got? 4-track films. Haven't seen you yet. Mark Abrams. Oh my, shut that guy down. Would somebody remove Mark Abrams from the chat roll? He is nothing but trouble. Him and his pink jacket and his shades and his goofy ass hat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mark is great. When the last time Mark was on the show, we had this frenemies battle. That was the funniest thing we've ever done. Mark, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Let's see. I'm going Black Box HG2. Is it too loud? Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you're getting at. Thank you. Jonathan was just telling me. See, the master fader was turned up. It was down to about +6 at the time. But the only reason I turned up the master fader is so that you guys could hear clearly what I was doing with the mix before I adjusted the mix bus and made the whole thing super loud. So typically, the black box, I typically try 2 different settings and modify from one of the 2 because they're pretty radically different. One of them is rock anarchy, and the other one is snare-tacular. So let's start with snare-tacular. Snare-tacular is a bit like mid-forward and a little bit gluey. I like it.
Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers.
It's snare-tacular tonight, baby. Let's get the Very Mew on next. This is my preset. I don't ever change it, except if the output volume needs to be adjusted. I push into this with the output of the black box, and I'm usually looking for. So fun fact: the Manley Very Mew, when it's modded, and my analog Very Mew is modded with all the mods. The Fairchild tube mod. The Fairchild sound doesn't even really kick in on the Very Mew until you're at 6 dB or more of gain reduction. And then there's the mod high pass side chain. So that makes your compressor ignore reacting to all frequencies below 100 hertz. All of those frequencies pass, but the compressor isn't actually reacting to them. And then, what's the other, I can't remember what the other mod is. But anyway, Very Mew, this is not a finishing box. This is a coloring box and a control box. I'm using this to, it's kind of like glue. When people say like, oh, that compressor glues everything together, my God, this is like, horse hooves.
Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things.
And you see I'm using the output of the HG2 until I get the result that I want up here.
Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 + 2. Well, you might come close. but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5.
Whenever somebody talks about 3D EQ, I always think that's complete bullshit until I use the UAD Pultec Pro Legacy. Something about this thing just, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a musical equalizer. Those bands bring out or reduce music in those frequency ranges, and they rebalance the musicality of your song. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. It's not the man who fools the weak. It's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, la da 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 Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things. I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5.
I forgot, I wanted to show this painter's work. I don't know if you guys have noticed it back there, but there's this painting of me in the back that is from a picture that was taken of me. And I'm going to show you guys because it blew me away when this guy did this.
Marcus Manderson as well. Marcus Manderson.
I'm aware. Let me just look at this thing. John Wahey painted this. So my wife Lori and I take a painting class locally here, and it's the funnest thing we've ever done. It is just
Side cam, show it to the side cam.
side cam. This one. Because that's a fisheye. So yeah, John Wahey painted this off of a picture that was taken of me, and then he just gave it to me, and I was, man, this is a prized possession. And his last name is John Wiehe, and he's Fairfield, Ohio based. John Wiehe.art@gmail.com. Dude is so gifted. I'm blown away by that. Thank you so much, John. And I wanted to show you guys my own artwork from painting class because it's like the funnest thing I've ever done. I often paint in neons because in my studio, the neons, when you go to the blue lights, you see how the neons just pop like mad off of that. So I'm going to change colors in the room and watch how the paintings change colors. So I'm really painting these specifically for this room and these lights. So this is blue, that's green, that's pink, is that blue? That's blue. That's red, and that's pink, and that's green. So, like, blue and green are my favorites. That's green. Oh, come on, I keep changing. That's blue. You see all those, like, yellows and neons and everything pop out of there? I just think that's the coolest thing. and that's how they look normally. So in normal light, that's how they look, and I'll hit you with blue one more time. Boom. So, yeah, I've found painting class has been super, super fun. I'm probably 12 paintings in by now, and just having the best time with it. I so highly recommend, if you can take like a wine and painting night, or if you can take like a full-on painting class in your community, do it. I always thought like this is going to be really tough. I'll probably suck terribly at it, and it's got to be super expensive. None of those things are true. Painting is not exactly easy, but I have found it to be super creative and more creative than challenging, and highly rewarding. Man, it's great. I recommend it. And so thank you, John Wahey, for painting that brilliant painting of me. I'm really flattered and shocked. We're going to go to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, and then I'm going to come back and finish this mix. We'll probably run maybe 10, 15 minutes long tonight. We got some more. We got Antonio Juan on the chat roll. Who else is good? Okay, I've seen everybody else. Mark Abrams is still here. God, okay. All right, let's roll Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery.
What's good, everyone? This is Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, back with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. In this Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment, we're going to talk about some free plugins. But before we get into that, I want to share some highlights from the Sync Spotlight conference. Definitely follow Sync Spotlight on Instagram. You can check out some of the panels here that we've had. We had the Women in Sync panel. We had Sam Tenez and Tommy Prophet on the panel. We had a music supervisor panel. And we had this panel with producers and composers featuring the one and only Ken Lewis. If you see him right there, all smiles. It was a great event. Shout out to Sync Spotlight and everyone that assisted with that program in Atlanta. Some follow-ups. We went out to dinner one night. This is at the Waffle House. We were up until kind of late, 3 or 4 in the morning. And then talking to Ken, incredible weekend. So shout out again to the Sync Spotlight team. Also, before I get into the plugins, I just landed my first Netflix trailer. Shout out to the Mixing Night community. I found trailer music through the Michael Mass episode of how many years ago was it when Michael Mass joined and shared insights when he came on for the first time and shared insights into the trailer music space. This is my first Netflix trailer. It uses a trailerization that I created of Pure Imagination from the Willy Wonka series. It is called The Golden Ticket is the name of the series that my music is on that trailer. So shout out to Netflix. All right, some free plugins. This is from To Be Played. This is a free plugin, I think only for a limited time. If you go to this site and you use the code FREEBIE, all capital letters, I believe, you'll get this QFX color for free. It is a sound coloring analog like filter. Next, we have some free plugins from Fracture Sound. They just released Textural Cello. We've talked about the Blueprint series before. Go to their site, click on free, and you can check out those plugins there. Next, we have a freebie from IK Multimedia. We have Amplitude 5 CS Bonus. This is their May giveaway. They're giving away 4 free gear models, so you can check that out from IK Multimedia. Then we have some courses, some free courses from Point Blank Music School. This is a course for Ableton Live. They have a course for Logic Pro, and they have a Music Business Taster. All of those are for free. You can definitely check those out. Then we have a free brass instrument from Sonic Cinema. Emotive Brass. It works with the free Contact Player, so you have to download the free Contact Player. Did someone say free? Definitely check that out. I don't know if this is going to be free forever or just for a limited time, so download these as soon as possible. Then we have another freebie. This is for a limited time. The Space Blender from Sound Toys, an imaginary space machine. This is incredible. I've used it on a couple projects already. It's a great. It's more than just reverb, but definitely check out Space Blender. Then we have a free gate plugin. This is called Gate 12. You can check this out. It is a cross-platform envelope generator for gate volume control inspired by plugins like Growspreet and Shaperbox. Check that out. Then we have a preamp, a free preamp for a limited time from Tone Empire. This is the Eden, I think it's the Eden preamp, the iconic 1960s and 70s punchy preamp. Check that out. Then we have a free bundle from Waves. You can get the Waves free plugin pack, which is 7 plugins from Waves. Check that out from their free plugin pack. Actually, it's 9. You already got 2 more bonus free plugins, so it's 9 plugins included. You can find out which plugins are included, all for free, no strings attached. And finally, we have Chord Seek AI. This is using AI to help you compose beautiful chord progressions in your browser. So you can check that out. I will include links either in the comment section here on the YouTube video, or you can just look them up yourself and figure them out. This has been Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Meta Mystery, with another Mixing Night Meta Mystery moment. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right? Peace.
We are back. Thank you, Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. You always bring the best segments for this community. We really appreciate you. I just saw somebody. Ains Boogie. I haven't seen you tonight on the chat roll. Welcome to Mixing Night. Antonio Juan, did I see you earlier? Jalen Goins, haven't seen you in a while. Kurt Codeine, I fucking love that name. The Secret Sound Lab, everybody's popping tonight. The fingers on the beat. Okay, I'm going to play this for like 2 or 3 minutes so that you can hear. You know, I've got a little bit of work to do on this mix, but all things considered, I have worked on this for probably just over an hour, maybe an hour and 10 actual minutes between, you know, answering all the questions and everything. It's 148 tracks, and it's sounding like a damn mix to me. And before I get back started, I will say one other thing. There's this Michael Brower interview that he did for Waves, and it's like it's probably a 2-minute segment of like a much longer interview. But the 2-minute segment was basically him talking about why he mixes fast. And he says, you know, it's not like I couldn't spend 6 hours on a mix, but the first hour, you know, like the band has done their performance. Now it's time for me to do my performance. And I'm in the moment and I am reacting to what the music is telling me to do. And it was just like, it's so striking when I hear other top mixers, and I don't compare myself to Michael Brower. He's a fucking legend. But his methodology and his thought processes practically mirror mine. And you guys should go find that segment. It's really, really valuable. I will answer a couple more questions. Aunt Sallow asks, hey Ken, how do you know if someone has potential in their music? Well, I've been making music professionally on a major label level for 34 years, so my spidey senses are pretty well dialed in, and that's just experience. That is my experience telling me I've been here 1,000 times before. I've heard songs like this 1,000 times before. Where does this land? Where does this artist land? And I'm doing this with artists all the time. When I had May Blue come and do vocal production this weekend, she sent me a couple songs to mix, and I was like, May, I love the songs. I love the quality of your voice, but I think that I can get great vocal performances out of you, and I don't think these are great vocal performances. And she came out, and she delivered stunning vocal performances, and now those mixes, like, you can't fix an uninspired vocal performance in a mix. You cannot. But if you have an inspired vocal performance that's truly great, you can fuck up most of the rest of the mix, and as long as that vocal is out front, you're going to be okay, because everybody is latching on to that amazing vocal performance. So please don't discount that while you are doing your own mixes. Bunch of people, Aunt Sal, haven't seen you tonight yet. Astro Joey, haven't seen you tonight yet. Kyle Wolf, always good to... So anybody who doesn't know, Kyle is our video editor, so when you see the like the intro and any of the in-between segments and stuff, Kyle has been video editing for us for a while. Anybody who needs a killer video editor, you guys should be hitting him up. He is really gifted, and thank you so much for everything that you do with the show. We super appreciate it. Let's see. Joe Farwick asks, hey Ken, when arranging songs, how do you decide what to cut, and how do you create the best possible energy curve? Right here, baby. Right here. And right here. Your heart and your gut. There is no one way to answer that question, except for listen to the music coming out of the speakers and react to it. And, you know, try... Does it work here? Does it work there? Does it work at this volume? Does it work at that volume? And then you'll just start finding these balances. That's the thing that sprint mixing teaches you, is the ability to strike fast balances between two or more instruments or signals and move on to the next. And you guys have seen me do that repeatedly all night, and you can hear the results. And you can see the absolute lack of plugins on my mix right now, and how absolutely killer the mix sounds right now. Let's find out.
Well, the educated mind is in contest with the view that humankind is but a tool to be enslaved and to use. You can petrify a body cease to resist. Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind. Well, you might come close, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. It's not the man who fools the weak, it's the tongue behind the teeth. It's the mind behind the tongue, and the string from which the mind is hung. Oh, da 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 da. Well, a trick may work on the feeble mind. You can try real hard, but you'll never trick mine. I know a few things, I only know a few things. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5. I can't count too good, but my fingers don't lie. 2 plus 2 can never make 5.
Damn, that is a solid mix for just over an hour's work. 148 tracks, all put together, mostly finished mix bus. Now, I'm sure that me and Phil are going to dig into this. Not tonight, I'm fucking fried. But, later this week or next week, and we will touch this up and make it exactly his vision for the record. But this is already really damn close and feeling like a juggernaut. And I feel like if I muted all of the vocals, I would still kind of know what section that I was in the song, which goes towards good arranging and also good mixing, because I'm collapsing things a little bit in the verses and I'm trying to make them those big, loud, instrumental sections, like those. I want to make those be like, that's a hook. That big instrumental section, that's a hook, just like anything else is a hook. A hook is just something that you remember the very first time that you listen to it. That's all that a hook is. Could be a lyric, could be a moment in the music, could be anything. So I think I am going to wrap things up for tonight. We're a little bit late, but thank you, everybody, especially on the chat roll, for joining us tonight. It was really great seeing everybody and tuning in. And I hope a bunch of you guys won some very cool Safari pedals and a year subscription to Session Studio. Thank you very much, Phil Deox, for allowing me to mix your song live. Not everybody likes their vocals soloed for the masses to hear, but I love your voice. It's really, really cool. You got a super cool vibe to you. I think our next show is June 4th, first Wednesday of June. I'm not sure what the show theme is going to be, but if y'all have suggestions, fire away. Drop us a comment on the... drop us a comment on the video, not on the chat roll, on the comment section of the video. Drop us a comment and let us know what would you guys like to see on Mixing Night, either as a whole show or a segment of a show. What skills do you need refined? What can we be showing you guys that you really feel benefits you? Because that's always what we want to do. I've already got this stuff figured out, so I want to help you guys figure it out too. Help you guys make better music. Help you guys be just more confident with the music that you're making. I've seen so many people that have tuned into the Mixing Night community over the years just transform musically. One of them is one of my artist partners. This is Torch. Man, I heard Torch's beat making over the course of Mixing Night just get better and better and better until I was finally like, enough, dude. You're fucking amazing. Okay, now we must make music together because you are completely undeniable. And now me and Torch and Michael Moss and I Know Fash are Radiolarians. So, you know, shit takes time to get good. Put in the work, and, you know, your skills will reward you for it. And thank you for joining us on this mixing night. Tell your friends about this show, and we'll see you on June 4th for the next one. Y'all have a good night.